guys, so today I'm making a delicious creamy eggplant dish. Now this is perfect as a side dish to any protein you may have, some chicken or some beef, or it's great on its own as well. In case you're a vegetarian, you can use this as your main course and have it with some chapati or roti or something off to the side. Of course, a keto-friendly one version of it, but we are going to start off with Japanese eggplants. I found these really fresh and very nice Japanese eggplants at the local Indian grocery store, but these are readily available at Asian markets as well. Now you can use regular eggplants if you like the big Italian style big ones, but I found that these when cooked are super buttery and yummy. They tend to have a lot less seeds than the big ones, and the more seeds there are, usually the more bitter and not as buttery and creamy. So these are perfect. And before we get started chopping these eggplants up, I just have a small bowl filled with some cold water. And to this, I'm going to add just a couple of big pinches of salt. And the reason we do this is while you're cutting your eggplants, if it takes you a little while to cut them, or if you're not cooking them right away, if they sit in the salted water, they won't oxidize and have that yucky dark color on them. And any bitterness from the seeds that are in there, it'll kind of pull that out as well. So it serves two purposes. So I've got my water here in a bowl, and I'm gonna go ahead and take the stem off of the eggplant. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. Like, this part doesn't have hardly any seeds in it, but this is amazing. And what I'm going to do is I want to cut this into like semicircles. You can really cut it however you like, but I just like the way semicircles look, so that's how I'm going to cut it. But basically we're going to do this. Look at that. It's beautiful. And probably roughly about 1/2 inch. Now you don't want to cut these too small because they will disintegrate as they're cooking. But as you finish cutting them, just kind of put them into your water and keep cooking. See, even towards the bottom of this eggplant, there's hardly any seeds in it, and this is going to be super yummy when it's cooked up. And that's all of our eggplants, so go ahead and give them a little bit of toss in the water so that they all get kind of exposed to that nice salty water. And that looks perfect. Now when we're ready to cook these, we're going to go ahead and drain that water out, so you don't want to use any of that salty liquid to cook. So to make this creamy eggplant, we've got a pan here, a nonstick pan on our stove, and it's going to be on medium heat. And in that, I've got 2 tablespoons of ghee or clarified butter and 1 tablespoon of regular organic butter. Now, eggplant with butter tastes amazing, but butter also has a low smoking point. That's why we're going to use the ghee. That way, a lot of our other ingredients can cook in here without the butter burning. And once the ghee is hot, we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of mustard seeds and let them pop. And we also have 1/2 teaspoon of cumin seeds, 1 tablespoon of sesame seeds, and 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric powder. Just give that a mix and let the sesame seeds pop. And you can go ahead and hear them popping right now, so we're going to add 1 tablespoon of minced garlic and 1 green chili, which I've chopped finely. That's optional. If you don't like it hot, you can leave that out. Mix it for just 15-20 seconds, let the garlic cook. And we're going to add in our drained eggplant. And toss it to mix well. And make sure that butter and ghee mixture coats every piece of the eggplant. At this time, we can also add our salt. And if you like it a little spicy, I have red chili powder, putting in about 1/2 teaspoon. Now we're going to cover it and let it cook until the eggplant is tender. And be sure to uncover it and stir it every so often so that the eggplant doesn't burn. Alright, the eggplant's been cooking for about 8 minutes, and I have been stirring it in between. See how nicely they're wilted down? Again, these are very tender eggplant, and you do not want to overcook them and make them completely mush. And the way we figure out if it's cooked or not is take a big piece and just put a little knife into it, and it goes in just like butter. Like very, very soft. And finally, I'm going to add a few tablespoons of sour cream. Now this is absolutely up to you how much you want to add, but the more you add, the more creamy and saucy it will be. Go ahead and give that a good mix. I've also turned down the stove to a low right now so that the eggplant doesn't overcook. See how nicely it's coating? And if you like a little more sauce, go ahead and add a little more cream. It's totally up to you. This is also a perfect chance, once it gets all mixed in there, to taste for salt and chili powder or anything else you want to add. Now, if you want to amp up the protein a little bit, you can also top it with some hemp hearts. I like to do this because I am a vegetarian and I'm always looking for protein sources. Even in my vegetables, I'd like to have them have a little bit of protein in there. And you don't want to cook the hemp seeds, that's why I'm putting them in at the very end. And just mix that through. It's going to provide a really nutty texture in addition to those sesame seeds to this eggplant dish. And finally, you can top it with some freshly chopped cilantro. And it's ready to serve. And here is our finished product. It looks amazing. The eggplant is already really nice and creamy on its own, but the addition of that sour cream is just going to put it to another level. I'm going to go ahead and give this a try. Oh my god. It is so delicious. You will look at eggplant in a whole new light with this recipe. It's a perfect, perfect side dish. And it's gonna go perfect with any main protein dish, or you can enjoy it with some low carb chapati. So be sure you check out that recipe as well. So if you like this recipe, be sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. So every time we come up with a new recipe, you'll be the first to know. And also ring that little bell so you will get that notification. And as always, it's easy to keto if you know how. Thanks for watching. Bye.